God ever gave us was love. The greatest and simplest gift He gave us is love. And if we had that same type of love that filled the atmosphere, you would have Christmas every day. Is what I'm really trying to say. And hey, guys, listen. Don't forget that we're doing a conference next month, January the 24th. It's going to be on a Sunday at 4 p.m. at the JS Venue Plus. It's going to be in Morrow, Georgia. It's a wonderful conference, and the focus is Black Dollars Matter, because Black Dollars Matter is 365 days a year, but it's dealing with it's dealing with family, and it's actually called "It's a Family Affair." And what we're trying to do, and we do these conferences every month, and we're trying to bring unity back into communities and neighborhoods in order for people to begin to galvanize and start uplifting and reaching each child, each generation, one by one, and no longer have this individualism mindset of this is my house and my family, that's your house, I don't bother you, you don't bother me. And that's what's killing this country. All across the globe is this individualism mindset that everyone has adapted. And I tell you, when I was growing up, I knew my neighbors from 5 blocks. I can walk 5 blocks and just walk in somebody's house. Didn't have to knock. Back then, you didn't really have to lock your doors. Back in the 80s and so forth. Just walked in and was offered dinner, whatever, food, ice cream, snacks, as if I was one of the family members. And that type of unity is how people stay connected. I lose my job, or my father lost his job, thank God he never did. But if anybody was lacking, then that community picked up the slack, what I'm trying to say. And that's why it's called It's a Family Affair. And we're getting back to doing the things. And these were the things of God, by the way, people. And it was all done in that one simplistic format, and that was with love. So just be on the lookout for that. We'll be doing some Eventbrite advertisement as well, and it's going to be free. Free for all, free food and drinks, and as we always say, we only ask for donations to try to offset some of the costs, because this is coming out of our pockets, particularly my pocket, and it is costly as far as renting the venue, getting the food, the drinks, getting the people there, employing the audio, the video, and so forth. But it's what my thing is people. I love people, and I love God's people, and I love ministering to people whomever is able and want to hear. So again, that's me January 24th at the JS Venue Plus, and we'll keep you posted on the upcoming on that. Also, don't forget to like us on our By His Blood Ministry page, and I put all those links connected with this channel, so you can like our By His Blood Ministry page. We do a 9 a.m. Sunday morning speech. I don't want to call it sermon, and it's about 15 to 20 minutes long, and we're speaking love again, people. Check us out. It'll be on YouTube. You don't have to see it live. If you don't, it'll be on YouTube as well as Ustream. And again, you like that page, the Ustream page or the YouTube page of the By His Blood Ministries, and we thank you guys for watching. Also, we have the Holy Spirit Radio show, this show here itself live. We ask you to go ahead and like that page as well, man. Listen, the more people we get, then we can begin to gain sponsorships and begin to not just do things in Atlanta, but do things in other cities as well about unity and bringing people together. And we're doing this wonderful campaign with Teespring, and this is how we're trying to generate money. We certainly accept donations, but we're doing a lot of Teespring shirts that we also will be posting on these broadcasts that you can. We ask you to please purchase a shirt of your liking. We have several to choose from, and it goes in again and getting all the things that we need. Man, listen, we're trying to get a building. We're trying to get a food truck, and that food truck, again, as I always said before, it's a non-profit for profit. The food truck will be going around statewide, different events that may be going on in your town. Might be Tennessee, might be Arkansas, might be Florida, wherever it may be. But our ultimate goal again is to be able to feed people and teach people about eating. Eating healthier, and that's what the food truck is all about. I don't want to give the name of it, but it's about teaching people how to eat right, eat proper. Because that's what we did back in the day, man. That's why folks live so long, and your grandparents lived so long. But because they ate from the ground and from the seeded plant, as it says in the word. Okay, so be on to look out for all those things we have going on. Again, I'm gonna take this break, and when we come back, we're gonna dive into this subject, man, because I'm gonna share some of my stories too as well. But sit tight, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, we're back, and again, we're talking about this holiday season and dealing with a dysfunctional family and in-laws during the holidays. Kind of traumatic, to say the least. But nevertheless, whenever you're this time of year is a really festive time. There's no question about it. It's a time when people, you have music and entertainment, and there's so much going on in your communities, all over the place. I mean, it's just it should be one of the happiest times. A lot of folks take great advantage of their communities. There's ice skating going on almost everywhere you go, even in South Florida, where I'm from. They have a wonderful ice skating rink down there. So people are out doing festive things. They're shopping. They're having a good time. They're spending great quality time with their friends, their families, and loved ones. The kids are in college. They come home. It's a wonderful time. Yet for many people, this time is really traumatic. And I can recall when I worked at the airport. It was so amazing that I bartended at the airport, and what was so funny was you would have people that would come up to me, and they try to do 3 or 4 shots at a time, and I'm like, is everything all right? And they would say, yeah, I'm going to see my in-laws, and I'm trying to get drunk, and then they say, you got a mint? But my point is, people were, this time was really, really stressful, man. It was really, really stressful for a lot of people. I mean, you'd be amazed of how people were so really stressed out for meeting these people. But when you look at this time of year, it can be challenging, man, because some, you got, if you got a, single mom, she's trying to work in order to get the toys for the kids, and but yet she can't spend time with her kids because she's working, and that can be a strain on the kids. You have parents who are divorced. It might be the first year spending Christmas divorced, and now you got to decide on which parent house you're going to spend the time with, and which grandparents' house. It could be a very troubling time. You also have you could have a death. A lot of folks this time of year, and while I'm on that subject, a wonderful sister of mine, Amanda Miller, my condolences goes out for her. She lost her sister just last month, and she lost her sister and her grandmother in the same month back in just past November. So my condolences certainly goes out to her. So again, I can't imagine how that is. Celebrating Christmas. Without a loved one, and we send all of our condolences to all of those who are missing someone this holiday season, but year round. So you have all these things going on, man. Spouses, whose house to spend it at. Then you may have a husband or somebody who, he doesn't celebrate Christmas. So he's not in this festive time of year. He's not trying to go to anybody's house. And now you have to explain to your mother or your father or your family why again why he's not there, because in their eyes something's going on in the marriage. So I wanted to bring this show to you tonight to really give some wonderful tips uh, and read an article or two about how you really can avoid having a dysfunctional holiday season this year. It's so prevalent, man. It's so prevalent. But I'm gonna tell you about me. I made up my mind back in 2012. I said, you know what? Never again will I spend any day, forget about holiday, around anybody or anyone that I don't feel comfortable around. No dislike, no, I don't like her. I don't, nothing like that. Nothing emotional. But we know we have some family members that when you around them, they shit starters. Put that way. Or something always coming up. They always remember something happened 20, 30, 40 years ago, and then all of a sudden they crying and they breaking plates and they walking out and they screaming and they yelling. What happened? Listen. If you're one of them people, get you some help. Get you some counseling. And I'm so serious, because if anything is bothering you that happened back in 1970, 1980, and how they always say try God and you ain't try God, some ain't working. You might want to try God. I mean all of God, not some of God, but all of God. And I've seen that firsthand. Thank God, not my family, but I've been over friends and some friends of mine's house and a young lady I dated. That it was traumatic, man. I mean, here it is. It's Thanksgiving, and you got folks screaming and yelling and mother and this and that, and and storming out the house, and and bringing their friends over there, and everybody. It's a I'm telling you, you can't explain how uncomfortable that is, but how unnecessary it is at the same time. So again, I'm gonna take this break, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna dive into this thing, man, head first too, and get to the bottom of all of this that's been going on. All right, and we're back. Now I'm gonna go through this thing pretty quick. Wonderful article that came out a while ago, and it was talking about what do you do when you're trying to make everybody happy during the holidays, and one of the problems was dealing with annoying in-laws. I know, and I thank God that when I was married, my in-laws were pretty, they were really, I mean, God rest their soul. I love my in-laws, so I didn't have a problem with my in-laws. But anyway, number one says, how to deal with annoying in-laws during the holidays. Number one says, manage your expectations. Setting realistic expectations is the key to not getting frustrated or angry with your partner's family. It is inevitable that there will be differences and disagreements, but don't try to change them or assume that things will be different this year. Instead, strive to find some common ground some common ground in the issue. Number two says, make it a team effort. Include your in-laws in the planning. A team effort makes every family member feel like an essential part of the meal or party. And if someone doesn't like to cook or bake, have him or her bring something to drink, flowers, a game, or plates and napkins or something. And so number three says here, and these are all tips about having a smooth holiday seasons, but I'm dealing right now with in-laws. Number three says, recognize it for what it is, a control issue. Often we take comments from our in-laws personally, especially if it's about something important to us, like our marriage, parenting style, or work situation. Keep it in perspective. Your in-laws' comments aren't about you, they're a reflection of them. And usually the pricky issues are about who will have the most influence. And parents are fearful of losing total control over their child. And they also don't like to acknowledge that they are getting older themselves and losing some of their power. And once you recognize this, you can let them know gently that this is the way you like to manage your household. But also stay open to the possibilities that they may actually have helpful advice to offer. Number four is respect differences. You can't change anyone's behavior or opinion, so be a role model and show respect for everyone's point of view. If there's a topic that creates too much conflict, like politics or religion or food, stay clear of it. You don't have to accept your in-laws' opinions, just respect them and listen to them. Number five says, set emotional boundaries. This one's crucial. Don't spill your guts about everything in your life, and establish limits around what you ask others and how much you're willing to shift to accommodate them. Most of us want to be accepted and liked, especially by our in-laws, and sometimes we do for them out of our own expense. So be mindful of that, people. And number six says, enlist your partner's help. This is so important that when you before you get in that car or get on that plane, however you get in the way you get, you and your spouse or your husband, wife, whatever, you better have a game plan. You got to have a cutoff point where when it's getting too deep, hey, time to shut it down. It's time to shut it down, and this is so vital. So enlist your partner's help is number six. It says, if you try to communicate directly with your in-laws, but there's too much tension and conflict, it might be time to ask your spouse to step in. They might have to talk to them alone or come to your rescue. And when you're in their company, this may not be easy for him or her, because parents tend to push our buttons. They know how to push them. So he might have to say, for instance, Mom, this is how my wife feels about this issue. Please respect her. It is important to me that you two get along. That is so crucial. You can't imagine how many times folks I've heard, again, I bartended for 30 years. You can't imagine how many times I hear people, it doesn't matter if they come from money or no money, or unemployment. When it comes to holiday times, you can't imagine how many times I've heard people be so angry at their spouse for not backing them up at that crucial time. when they're being attacked by the in-laws and they don't come to the rescue. I've heard this so often, so amazing, that people will sit there and as they say, throw you under the bus. And then and what's so amazing is you get back in that car and you got to remember you got to go back home to that person now. and you got to deal with that thing there from that perspective. So you got to be mindful, man, that have some type of unity, a team effort dealing with your in-laws. You got to be able to work with your spouse, man. And even if you may not agree, you gotta look like a team, like a unit, and from that family. Because what you're doing is you're protecting the team. You're protecting the unit. And sometimes, like the article talked about, some of these parents, they know how to push your buttons. Say, you're the wife and you make 6 figures and your husband works at McDonald's right now. And they sit there bringing up, you found a job yet? Well, have you been looking here? I mean, it's badgering, and as the wife, you let it happen. And then you have the nerve in the car, say, what you want me to do? They say something. Hey, Dad, Mom, listen. He's doing the best he can, but as a family, we're fine. We're good. That's how you shut that down. You don't sit there and let nobody just attack somebody, and you just say, well, what do you want me to do? You got to set boundaries and set limits. And don't open yourself up to every damn thing. Because sometimes people will ask you a ton of, well, what you doing now? Where you working at? Well, how you doing now? Well, what's going on? What they doing is they being nosy for the first thing, but they're trying to find some weakness in your life to start attacking. Everybody got that drunk uncle. That when they get drunk, they tell everything they had back in 1960, and you're like, I wasn't even born then. And they start crying, and the whole thing is ruined. And then you got one side trying to calm them down, the other side. Then they start arguing. And it's like then the whole night is just ruined. That's why I started the show by saying, because you're supposed to be happy and festive. If you had love as the center of everything, every day would be Christmas. Every day. You would have to let a system, a universal system ran by the government, and say, hey, it's Valentine's Day. Take your wife out, or your girlfriend out, or your boyfriend out. Hey, it's Easter. Let's and Easter has nothing to do with the birth of Christ, so you can let that go. Let's go buy some new clothes and outfits and just show out. You're being controlled by a system instead of using the easiest and the freest thing God gave you. That's love. To love one another. To love each other. Can you imagine if we had that kind of love in this society? Folk would be walking around singing all day long, smiling and just, bringing gifts just to be, I just thought about you yesterday. That's why I bought you some earrings. Girl, you was on my mind, so I bought you some flowers. All year round, people are, good morning, how you doing? And then come January, February, you go back to stop talking. And what I'm telling you is that's not a God-centered lifestyle you're living. Sure enough, this is a wonderful time of year for many, but also a lot of folks, this is a suicide time of year. The highest suicide comes around this year for the most part, because so many people are alone. So you must, if you have your family, take full advantage of it, man, and thank God for it. Thank God you got your spouses, your kids are healthy, and all those things, man. It's a wonderful time because there's so many people out here that are going through it for one reason or another. So I ask you to meditate each day for those people and for yourselves to have a mind, a free mind, a renewed mind, a mind of Christ consciousness, where you're not worried about the system because you're so busy living out the life that God intended you to have. That's what I really wanted to tell you tonight. I'm gonna play this quick article that I saw, and she had some wonderful tips dealing with family and friends and whatnot, dealing with this holiday season. And I want to share this with you because I thought this was pretty neat. Some of the things that she was saying. 5 tips of dealing with difficult family members. And I want you guys to check this out and enjoy. So yeah, I wanted to bring that to you real quick. And alcohol too is a main factor. A lot of folks can't handle alcohol, and the more they drink, the more hostile the environment gets, and so forth. But I always say that when you're going into an unknown territory, sometimes it might be the other spouse going for the first time to the parents' house or all that. You got to have a safe spot, a safe zone where you all can go and regroup and decide if you're gonna leave. Because sometimes it's best just to come in, get your greet and meet out the way, and if you see a hostile situation going on, okay, guys, we got to go, and just leave, and just move on. Because the main thing is this: your relationship, whether with your family, your children, or what have you, it has to last beyond one day. And that's my whole point. It's a wonderful time to spend time with your family, and a joyous time that it can be. But the ultimate goal is you got to move on and carry on with this. Because I'm telling you, a lot of folks, families break up during the holidays. You already got stress prior to the holidays, and then you at the holidays you have even more stress. So just be mindful of these tips, man. They really can save you, your family, and your family's future, and help you get through the holidays. Again, coming together, having a solution. Also, I mean, there's so many scenarios that I don't have enough time to even go over, because you also have the children. Sometimes the child may not want to go see the mother of the grandparents. So it's a difficult time, but you put love in front of it, you get clarity and understanding, and I promise you, you will make it through. Listen, my time is up, and I thank you all for tuning in. I just wanted to bring that to you guys because I thought it was a really interesting subject, and one that, as I said, I'm hearing people, all in the stores and stuff, and they're already in line at the stores and Macy's, complaining about, we got to go to grandma's now, we got to go to, and what they're gonna do. Get what they're gonna do first. Get a game plan first. Before you leave your destination, get a game plan of how much time you're going to try to spend here and spend there, or if you're going to go to New York or LA, you have to make that decision on how you're going to do that as well. And as we always say in parting, to love yourselves is to know yourselves, and to know yourselves comes by spending time with God. We love you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace, and God bless.